Well, howdy, physics sleuths and inquisitive souls, and welcome again to another Sermon of Sean. So, today I'm going to touch upon something really big, and it's going to piss off a lot of people. They ain't going to like what I got to say one bit. But it be what it be. It is what it is. And your refusal to accept it is irrelevant. It changes nothing. God don't care. I don't care. Nobody came by and asked how you were because nobody cares. We all think we got it all figured out and we know what's best and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, we don't. Only one of us at most. At most. Probably not even that. So, what I'm going to talk about today is what God is trying to accomplish with religion. Okay? And what the difference between succeeding and going to heaven to be with God when you die, or staying here in Sheol and hell and earth, our home that we were given by our Lord, and to which there is no escape except through Him. That's right. If you love earth, you love people, maybe heaven's not for you. Totally different vibe up there. But we're going to explore all this. I just did some mushrooms. They're kind of weak. I'm not feeling them that much. So I started doing some drinking. You know me. I got some cigarettes. Because I'm like, fuck it. Today's going to be one of them days. We're going all out, baby. And if I'm getting this lit, we might as well do some work for God. Because that's when I do my best work, is when I'm lit, son. So, shall we begin? So, I'm going to bring up the verse that's causing a lot of this problem, okay? And I think it's going to become pretty obvious to what the problem is here, all right? As you can see, in the Bible, there's not many times, but there's like one or two times where Jesus makes a statement where he basically says along the lines of, I am the way to truth and to the life meaning the life with God. No one comes to the Father, God, except through me. Okay? Now, a lot of Christians have interpreted this verse, and the other one he said too, which is kind of along the same effect, to mean that only those who believe in Jesus and believe that He is God, another face of God, are worthy to go to heaven. And everyone else, fuck you, too bad, so sad, get fucked, stay here in Sheol, hell, earth, whatever you want to call it. As a spirit. Now, this is a problem, okay? This is a problem because a lot of Christians are interpreting this verse as, I don't have to be a good person. Fuck you. I can be a piece of shit. As long as I renounce on my deathbed and believe in Jesus that He is God, I am saved. Fuck you. And it doesn't matter how good of a person you are as a Muslim, as a Jew, as a Hindu, as a Sikh, as any of the other religions on the planet that accompany like the vast majority of all humanity. Fuck them. I don't care if they're good. God doesn't care if they're good. If they don't believe in Jesus, then they go to hell. Fuck you. And that is the mentality of most Christians today. And if that sounds pretty fucking cringe, it's because it is. No one just told it to you the way I am telling it to you now. So, this is bullshit. And I'm going to break down and I'm going to show you in great detail why this is bullshit and why you's a fool if you believe this. Okay? So, just so you know, what Jesus is saying right here is that he is the example that God had foresaw coming thousands of years ago. God had already had Jesus picked out to be the example, knowing Jesus was going to be what Jesus was going to be. Because God has the ability to see into the future. And I have no clue how he does it. But he does. And I'm telling you, as the guy who hand-waved all of your physics into existence, my son, I didn't hand-wave shit about time travel or seeing into the future. Because I don't see how it's possible. But I'm a stupid earth monkey dog thing. I don't know everything. God, he knows everything. At least infinitely more than I do. By any measure. Okay? So, what does the example mean? What do I mean when I say Jesus was the example and not God? Jesus is not a God. He's a man. He even says many, many times, I'm just a man. His disciples said, he's just a man. But the Son of God, just a man though. And in fact, Jesus, one of his nicknames for himself was Son of Man. Not Son of God, Son of Man. Because if he had to choose which identity he was, human or God, it's 100% human. Jesus is human, 100% human. But don't get it twisted. He is the most powerful human to ever live as being the example. And being the good example that pleased God, God rewarded Jesus by being the perfect example of what a human should attain to be. This pacifist, nonviolent intellectual who seeks truth, understanding, and love, and is compassionate. Jesus nailed that. Ain't no other human in existence ever nailed that. Jesus nailed it. Pardon the pun. He crushed it. It was awesome. Beautiful. And so one of the things that God did to reward Jesus for this, it's in the Bible, I'm not going to look it up, but it's there, I promise, is he gave Jesus access to the book of life. And to my knowledge, he is the only human to ever live that has access to the book of knowledge. The book of life, the book of life. Muhammad, no access to the book of life. Moses, no access. Noah, no access. Abraham, no access. All these other people, no access. Only Jesus gets to write names into the book of life and delete them as he sees fit. Because God trusts his judgment that much that if Jesus is like, yo, man, this guy, then God's like, well, blot his name out of the book of life, and he will never come to heaven. And if Jesus is like, yo, man, this guy, I think he's all right, then God's like, well, write his name in the book of life, and he shall gain access to heaven. That's why, like, one of the other thieves that was next to Jesus, that was, like, all bumped out. He's getting crucified with him and everything, and, all the pain and suffering they're enduring. And Jesus, being compassionate soul he is, he tells the other guy, he's like, don't worry. You're with me. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to make sure you get to heaven. Basically, I mean, he probably did it because Jesus, he does everything he says. But he probably wrote that dude's name in the book of life after he got resurrected and ensured his safe passage to heaven. Jesus has that power. The only human to ever live that has that power. So when Jesus says, I am the way and truth of life, and no one comes to the Father except through me, he's not saying, believe me, worship me, worship me. No. What he's saying is, I passed the test of life. I proved to be the example of how humans should always strive to be and to live their lives. And God has rewarded me by making me the official ambassador between humanity and God. That's Jesus. He is the link. He's the ambassador between God and humanity. And if Jesus doesn't think that you deserve to go to heaven, he can blot you out of the book of life. He even says so in the Bible. I swear. Okay? That's what Jesus is talking about here. Okay? And we're going to dig into this a little more. You don't got to trust everything I say. I'm going to show you some things. I'm going to show you some things. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. So, I want you to notice. Okay, here we go. Start at the beginning, shall we? So, if God does not decide who goes to heaven by faith in Jesus, then how does he decide? Simple. It says so in the Bible so many times. It's right there. Deeds. Deeds, deeds, deeds. Countless times in the Bible. Countless times. It says, you will be judged by your deeds. Hast thou done deeds unto me that ought not be done? You know, it brought me and kingdom and great sin. So basically, he's equating sin to deeds that shouldn't have been done. Bad deeds. Bad thoughts that turned into bad actions. Okay? And if we keep going this, it just keeps going on and on. Make known his deeds among the people. So that's important. His deeds, first and last, behold, they are written in the book of Kings, meaning his deeds are important. After all that has come upon us for our evil deeds and for our trespass, seeing that thou, our God, has punished us, lest our inequities deserve. Say we did evil deeds and now we're being punished. Notice, belief in Jesus ain't got nothing to do with it, my man. You're like, well, you're Old Testament still, Sean. Let's get to it. Okay, cool. We'll get there. Don't worry, man. Deeds. They reported his good deeds before me, uttered my words to him. The words set letters to me in fear, blah, blah, blah. Remember me, O God, wipe not out my good deeds that I have done for the house of God and for the offices thereof. Okay? Deeds are important. Okay? Draw me not away from the wicked, and with the workers of iniquity, which speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts, give them according to their deeds. Give them according to their deeds. What do you think that means, man? Do you think that means you get judged by your actions unless you believe in Jesus, then you're saved and you're good. You don't have to worry about that. But everybody else. But even then, the Christian's like, but nobody else. Nobody else. Doesn't matter how good your deeds are. If you don't believe in Jesus, you die, you go to hell. Too bad, so sad. Cringe as fuck, isn't it? It's not God's way. Make his deeds known to the people. Blah, blah, blah. See, I think we're starting to slowly get according to their deeds. According, he will repay. Fury his adversaries, recompense his enemies, the islands will repay recompense according to their deeds. Starting to see the pattern here. It's almost like the word deeds is written in damn near every book. It's just a statement saying, you're going to be judged according to your deeds. And yet people just don't want to hear it. They don't want to believe that when they misbehave and act poorly, that they are going to be held accountable for all of those actions. Nope, they just want to believe that all I got to do is repent on my deathbed, and that's it, I'm good. It's like, huh, really? And I will recompensate them according to their deeds and according to the works of their hands. Another name for deeds. Deeds, 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 deeds. It's all about deeds. What you do is what you get. You get back what you put in. You put a lot of good deeds in the life, and you get out a lot of good blessings from God in the afterlife. This is the deal. This is the social contract that was given to us by God. And you don't have to obey. God gave us free will. You don't have to obey. Just know this. Ain't no one that do bad deeds, whether you believe in Jesus or not, goes to heaven. Okay? You got to be a good person and do good deeds. And it really helps to have good thoughts because thoughts lead to actions. And I hate to break your heart, sunshine, but there ain't a thought you ain't ever had your whole life that God didn't see coming eons before you existed. That is the scope and power of God. If you think, well, I'll just pretend to be good and he'll never know because he can't see what's going on up in here. Yeah, he really can, bro. He really, really can. I've seen this firsthand. He really, really can. He knows your thoughts better than you, believe it or not. Yeah, because he's actually intelligent enough to decode them properly and understand what derived them and why you're behaving this way and what it will take to make you stop. These are things that human beings lack. Self-awareness. But what do I know? I'm just a dude on mushrooms, getting drunk, smoking cigarettes. So, deeds, deeds, deeds. Truly bear witness that ye allow the deeds of your fathers, for they indeed killed them and built their specters. So the deeds is what did them in, their evil deeds. And we indeed justly, for we receive our due reward of our deeds. But this man hath done nothing amiss. Okay? Deeds, deeds, deeds. It just keeps going on and on and on. On and on and on. If there's one reoccurring theme in the Bible that is literally in almost every damn book, yet people just refuse to accept it, it's that the only way God is going to judge you is by your deeds. He's not going to judge you by your thoughts. We all have fucked up thoughts. If he judged us by that, no one would be worthy, even Jesus. Okay? Not even Jesus would pass that test. No. He judges you by your actions, what you're trying to accomplish and what you really do accomplish. Okay? This is what is going on. So, if you want to go to heaven and you want to get Jesus to write your name in the book of life, what you need to do is be like Jesus. He's the example that was given to us by God of what God wants from us. And the more you're like Jesus, the more you're in favor with God and the more he blesses you and protects you. Okay? Dude, if I told you all the times that God saved my life from me dying, you wouldn't believe me. Like, it's so many fucking times, bro. Like 20 times. God has literally had to save my life. And you're like, well, why? Why would he save your life? I just told you why, man. Because I try and do good deeds. And that's what matters. And if you don't, God ain't going to protect you. He ain't going to bless you. And you wonder, why is my life so bad? I'm trying to screw over everybody I can to get ahead, but it's not working. Yeah, God doesn't like that. He's not going to help you. And the other guy that's doing it right, he's helping him, which means you're going to be a stepping stone. It is as it is. Sorry if someone told you otherwise and you believed them. So, what does this mean? This means that anybody can go to heaven. Anybody. Okay? Don't matter if you're a Jew, Hindu, Islam, if you worship Piku Kaku, the pygmy god of the mountain, doesn't matter. God doesn't care. I'll give you a hint. Almost all the religions on the planet were started or influenced by God one way or another at some point in time in human history. Okay? And the evidence of that is obvious. I figured out that it was all the same source like when I was a teenager. I just thought it was man-made because I was like, this is more reasonable, it's more, plausible that it was man-made by, genius kings than by a god. Because I was listening to what Christians had to say back then. And I was like, this don't make no shit. This doesn't make no sense. You guys are crazy. All right? So, if you're a Hindu, or if you live in the Amazon, and you're a shaman, if you're a good person, God is going to see that. And he's going to want you on his team. He don't care you ain't never heard the name Jesus before. He don't care that you heard the name Jesus and you're like, well, that don't sound right. I don't know what about that. All I know is I'm just trying to help out my community and do charity and be a good person and make this world a better place, and I found it. And how cringe do you have to be to come in as a Christian and be like, so, you're still going to hell because fuck you. You don't believe it. Jesus, you're a loser. You're a loser. You're going to hell. Really, bro? Really? The man saved fucking 3 children out of a burning building and burned himself up in the process. Is that deed worth nothing in the eyes of God? Nothing at all? So, and this just goes on and on, man. I can just keep doing this forever. He that doeth cometh to light, and his deeds may be made manifest. They're all wrought in God. Saying good deeds come from God, blah, blah, blah. Ye do the deeds of your father, and said to him, we be not born of fornication. We have one Father, even God. Do good deeds. Moses learned the wisdom and the mighty words and in deeds. Deeds, deeds, deeds. All right? Now, I told you I'd do a little more proof than just simply this, all right? So we're going to dig in just a little bit further into this. We're going to go into Revelations, my favorite chapter, the only chapter I fully, completely understand, which is odd because that's usually the one chapter nobody gets. Should make you wonder. All right? So, in Revelations, John, not John, I think it was Paul. He's like somewhere in Greece and he's missed a boat and he's waiting. And then God kind of sends him a message or a vision and spiritually takes him away to heaven to kind of, see things. He's rewarding Paul for being so good, okay? The revelation of St. John the Divine. Okay, my bad. So it is John, not Paul. Drain damage. I'm getting blown up in Iraq. Sorry. I fuck up everything. Now, so John has been whisked away spiritually to heaven, okay? And what he does is he sees, let me see here. Let's see if this brings it up. Doors having a cracked trumpeting, come hither, and I will show thee which must be hereafter. And I admittedly was in the spirit, and behold, the throne was set in heaven, and the one that sat on the throne. and he looked like a jasper and a sardine stone. His soul, basically saying his soul is like extremely courageous and extremely wise. That's what these two stones mean. They both mean courageous and wise, and courageous and wise. And you combine the two, you have courageous and wise squared. Interesting. Right. So, okay, let's see if I can find this. And the 20 elders went down to worship forever and ever. Okay. And the angels sat about the throne, and the elders and the beasts, and they worshiped God. Blah, blah, blah. Worship the devils. There's so many worship. It's probably not the right. All right. So, what I'm trying to find here is there's not once, but twice that this happens. Oh, look at this. And dwell upon the earth shall worship him whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Huh. It's funny. It's telling you right there that the Lamb, Jesus, controls the book of life. And yeah, if you don't please Jesus by doing the things that Jesus likes, which is not worshiping him, it's being a good-hearted, kind, caring, considerate, compassionate being. All right? Now, let's see if I can find what I'm actually looking for here. Worship the first beast. No. The image of the beast. Worship. No. And worship him that made heaven, the earth, and the seas, and the foundation. No. Oh, this is gonna be so worth it if I can find this. Ever and ever, and they should come worship before thee. Okay, here we go to the vials. This is, I think, the right section that we want to be in. Or so down, worshiped him. I fell. Okay, here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Okay. And he said unto me, right, blessed are they which call unto the marriage supper of the Lamb, and say unto me that these are the true sayings of God. And I fell at his feet to worship him. All right, this is John, okay? Twice he did this, and he was in heaven. Okay, twice. God's like, hey, bro, go off with this angel, let him show you some things. And the angel's like, come here, bro, let me show you some things. And the angel shows him some things, right? And then what happens? John, so impressed, drops to his knees to worship this angel. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. For I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have testimony of Jesus. Worship God. Worship God. For the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of the prophecy. So, twice, John was in heaven for like 5 minutes and already messed it up, and he's worshiping angels because he's so impressed and awe-struck by them. And twice, the angel was like, don't do that. You do not worship anyone but God. Notice he did not say Jesus. He said God. And then he goes on to elaborate to say, I am but a fellow earth monkey dog thing like you, who was but saved by the testimony, the gospel of Jesus Christ. By the guide that he gave us, by showing us the example on how to live. I saw the example and I modeled my life after it. I modeled my life after the gospel, after the testimony of Jesus. And that is what brought favor to me with God and saved my soul. And that's why now I am in heaven elevated and reborn as an angel. Okay? And this also tells you an important thing about heaven, too. It says many times, you don't go to heaven just to relax and chill, bro. No, you go to heaven to serve God. And the reason why he wants good-hearted people that love charity is because only a good-hearted people that loves charity would actually enjoy that gig of running around helping people endlessly for all of humanity with superpowers and chilling with God and talking about good deeds, okay? It takes a certain kind of mindset, a certain kind of person to appreciate and enjoy that afterlife. And it ain't for everybody. And not everybody is capable of it. All right? So, that is the deal. Okay? God and Jesus, they don't care about what you believe. They're going to set that straight after you die. Okay? Only a true idiot, when he dies, will be standing before God, and God's like, here's the deal. And you're like, well, actually, I think I figured it all out when I was 16, and it's totally different what you say. All I have to do is believe it. I'm good. Only a certain kind of idiot would have to have that kind of mentality and defiance in the face of God. Okay? So, God don't care about what you know. He's going to fix that when you die. He's going to just give you all the knowledge, all the truths, everything. You're just going to know. What he cannot give you is a good heart. This is something that either you're born with or you're not. And some people are born with good hearts, but they're corruptible and they get corrupted. And that's unfortunate because they would have been good-hearted people had they been born in a much better circumstance. But make no mistake about it. If you got a true good heart, you're always going to be looking to do good deeds, as long as you're not straight up being mercilessly attacked and put in the, life or death mode. Then we get kind of sinful, animalistic at that point, no matter who you are. But under normal operating conditions, if you seek to help others and you seek the spirit of charity and compassion, congratulations, you're a good person. I don't control the book of life. Only Jesus is the only human that does, and of course God and the angels, I'm sure. And that's it. That's the game right there, man. That's everything. And yeah, I think we covered some really important ground today. I could go deeper, but I'll probably save some things for the next sermon. I try not to make them unless I got something to say, but sometimes I do it be. So, know this. If you ever hear any Christian or anybody tell you, Muslim, whatever, you only go to heaven if you're my religion. I don't care how good of a person you are. You know they're full of shit because you can read the words of God. And this, God has never, ever said this, okay? The closest this was ever said in the Bible was the statement that Jesus said where you got to get through me to get to God. And he loves his play with words. Jesus speaks in parables constantly because that's a very intelligent way, and he loves it. It's his thing. But what he's really saying there is not like I'm physically the bridge between humanity and God. It's not like you have to step on me to get to God. I'll hold you up quick. No. He's saying, listen, bro, I'm the example. I taught you how to live to be good, to be in good cahoots with God. And I control the book of life. So if I see value in you, I will damn sure make Skippy that you come and be on my team because I want you on my team. That's what Jesus is saying. Nothing about, just believe, the power of believe, and you'll be fine. No. Anyways, this is something that really upsets me because this is the moral of the story, kids. Religion is not the end game. It's not. It's not like, well, I found religion, so I'm good. No. Religion is the guide that God gave you to teach you how to live your life. And it takes constant effort to the day you die because of neuroplasticity. And Jesus said this too. He said, your thoughts become actions. If you think about something long enough, you're going to manifest it. You're going to make it come true. And I don't mean stupid shit like, well, I'm thinking about winning the lottery. No, bro. I'm talking about you see some hot bitch and you're like, I want to fuck her. I'm going to rape her. I want to fuck her. And every time you see her, you think this over and over and over. What are you doing? You're training your brain to repath your neurologic ways to accept raping this person or molesting them or whatever as being an acceptable thing to achieve your satisfaction. And after so long of this being rewired, your brain, this now is going to seem like a really good ideal to you. It's going to be really hard to not do this. Okay, that's what I mean by manifesting deeds. Okay, thoughts become actions or deeds, and bad deeds create demons. If you go back into my sermon, I don't know, a few months ago when I explained the difference between sin, demons, Satan, all of this stuff. I explain it in great detail, so there is no confusion. All right? So you know, if you want to get ahead of the curve, the best way to think of religion, all religions, is it is simply a guide for you to follow on how to live your life where God does not see you as an abomination. Okay? And proof of this is every major religion all does the same damn thing. I've done this over other videos. You know, you got like the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt never do these, or, you know, he's not gonna forget that you did this. May forgive you, ain't gonna forget. And you got lesser things, you know, like, well, feed the poor, be nice, blah, blah, blah. Where, you know, it's not a commandment, but it's like you really should strive to do this because this is the difference between a good person and a bad person, all right? And then they build the infrastructure for monogamy, marriage, okay? And most religions value basically completely monogamous relationships where you basically, you know, you're a virgin, you're with one person your whole life and never anybody else, and there's no divorce. That's the way it's meant to be. But because of feminism throughout the last century, now we have divorce and all this other things. And yeah, isn't the world getting better day by day, day by day? And yes, my child, if you are a longtime viewer of my channel, then you know. According to my calendar, we have as little as 9 months left before Putin becomes irreparably enraged and uses his nuclear arsenal to destroy the entire planet, wiping out 2/3 of all life. So say the Bible. We are in the final year of the 7-year Great Tribulation. It all started. I did a video on this. I encourage you to look it up if you haven't. This is the most important video of your life. Look up Dynamic Gravity, Great Tribulation. I promise you, it will show you the reality of where we're at right now. Whether you believe it or not, it is what it is. And Putin's nukes are going to fall in about a year from now. And the world is going to die as we know it, civilization, as it has to, because it's too big of a corrupting force. God won't allow it. And God knew this about us. This is the point. God saw this 5,000 years ago. This was all part of his plan to teach us this huge lesson about how we ain't shit, we're stupid, we don't know what's best for us. And without God teaching us right from wrong, we might as well be fucking animals. Fucking animals, apes. Apes, murderous apes with hyper-intelligence of a god. Yeah, hyper-intelligent, murderous apes. What a wonderful fucking thing to be. But that's the deal. Anyways, I'm gonna go for a walk. Hope you guys have a good day. Adios, muchachos.
Like, subscribe, submit.